Well, we're back. It is late in the day, unfortunately. Not really how I wanted to start the day. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Not really how I wanted to start the day. I let myself get dehydrated out here yesterday. I wasn't feeling well when we got home. And I slept in this morning. And then I had to go to the hardware store. Me and every other creature on this earth went to the hardware store this morning. Got a couple of things I'm looking at over here that I'm getting ready to try to do. That stack right there is what I brought back from the hardware store. That's the trim for the tops of the boards where it joins up with the row above it. And also we're going to be using that around the windows. Now that's not enough. I took everything that they had. So I'm going to have to track down. I may have to order some, get it delivered, but one way or another, we'll get some more of it up here. Yesterday, we got these pieces right here and got them painted. We were getting ready to do this one over here, went ahead and cut the top of it. Unfortunately, the rain came. So I'm getting ready to set up here. I'm going to do some cutting and prepare one or two more boards. Right now, Jafan is outside putting another coat of paint on the back of the house. So as we go, we're painting this thing just to try and make it watertight, to keep the rainwater from soaking into it. You don't have to paint it right away. They have they list in the specs a certain amount of days that you're supposed to do it in, and it gives you plenty of time. We go into the new construction neighborhood sometimes so I can steal design ideas off of things that they're doing up there. And as we drive through, you can see the hardy siding that they've got up. Some of those houses have been sided for more than a month and there's not a bit of paint on them yet. So I don't think it'll be a problem. So one of the things about getting out here and building a house when you've never done anything like this is there are lots of little things that people don't know. That one person might think that you should absolutely just know that, and somebody else is not going to know it. Here's a perfect case in point. I'm not trying to pick on Jafana.
Yes, you are.
So I come out here and she's just about out of the first bucket of paint. We're getting into the second bucket of paint here. And I came out and said, what happened to the bucket? She wanted to open it up. So instead of just breaking this little piece right here and peeling the whole thing off in one strip, she took her pocket knife and she cut each individual one. And now it looks a little ratty.
Still works.
So I had to go get a pair of pliers because my fingers aren't strong enough to pull each one of these things off of here. Now we're having a little laugh about it, but the point I'm trying to make is if you take something like this on, there are going to be dozens, maybe hundreds of things that you don't know. You know, you figure out what you can figure out. Some of it you're going to think is common sense. Some of it afterwards you're going to think, why didn't I figure that out? Forgive yourself, move on, fix it. As you go, you get a little bit better with these things and they get a little bit easier to fix.
You're going to stand up here?
Walk it. Probably. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
It went right under.
Alright.
Oh, and it's lining up really nice, babe. Here's your ears. Oh.
Should be blowing off my head by now. It's good.
Want the ladder? Where'd you put the ladder?
What's that?
Where'd you put the ladder? Inside?
That's a great question. Is it inside?
I don't know. Where you...
is. It's not getting that hot. So I had somebody ask in a comment about the depth of the nails on the cement board. So, and you see me walking around here, like right here, that needs to be tightened up. I gotta drive that in a little bit. So I've got it set. That's how it's going in. I think it looks pretty good. It's nice and even. It's not standing proud. And if I have to choose between going too deep or standing proud, I'd rather it be a little proud, because I can always follow those up. And that's not a problem. Now that one right there went in too deep. I'm gonna have to put some putty on it, but it's also gonna be covered up by trim. So every nail on here is gonna be covered up by a batten. You see me, when you see me with the tape measure while I'm nailing, it's because I forgot to put some chalk lines. We put the chalk lines on this first one. And this is, from this edge, it's 16 inches, 32, 48. This seam will be caulked, covered up by a batten, 16, 32, 48, all the way across. And that's what's going to give it the board and batten look. On the lower section, it's going to be 16 inches, and on the upper section, it's going to be 12. That's it. We got to measure, get these pieces cut. I'm going to cut this one that goes, so a really weird thing. So I have 2 layers of Tyvek here, because storm damage hit and it really messed the Tyvek up. So I just came back in and put another layer on here. What I've noticed, and I don't know if this is just, maybe I did something wrong, but I made it so that this fit in all the way to the corner before I nailed it. And it was good. And I don't know if weather, if the heat, sun exposure or something has caused it to shrink a little bit, get tighter. I have no idea, but it kind of stands out. So the layer underneath of it seems to be fine, but this top layer, maybe I screwed up. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut that so that the pieces of siding fit all the way in to that corner. There's another piece underneath of it, so if any moisture gets in there, it's still gonna be prevented from getting to the substrate.
Once I cut it open, I wanted to make sure that I had a continuous layer of underlayment. Just using tape to try and get that corner seemed almost impossible. So I cut a much larger piece, taped it on one edge, applied a thin strip of siding that was going to go next to the window, and then after it was fully in, I adhered it to the wall. Learning from the mistake that I made on the opposite wall, I made sure to mark the position for my battens from the outside edge of the panel instead of doing it from the corner. This gives me continuity across the wall.
Excuse me?
Did they put the pigment in this?
Supposedly. I paid for it.
Okay.
He was looking it up and doing it.
Okay. That's not the right color.
What do you mean it's not the right color?
It's not the same color.
Well, maybe it's the right color and the rest of the house isn't. Maybe they screwed up the first batch, because that looks more like the stuff I just brought home. Where's your sample?
At home?
Well, put it up here and let's find out.
Okay. But it just doesn't look okay.
It would appear that we don't have the same color of paint on both sides. That's what we have painted the rest of the house with. That is a different color. I had them look up the Hardy Arctic White, and this is what we got, and we like it a lot. We think it's a great color, but went back after the 5 gallons was used up to get another 5 gallons, And yeah, from here you can definitely tell what she's got going on over there is much wider. And I went today and I got some trim, and this trim happens to come pre-painted. And I'm gonna grab there's a couple of broken pieces here that they were just gonna throw away and I grabbed up. And I'm gonna take this over and see if it looks like, it's definitely not what we painted the rest of the house with. It might match the other one. So we looked at the paint buckets and they used a different base for one than they did for the other. So I imagine that gives you a different color. So the trim is painted.
I like the color though. Oh my gosh, I hope they can make this happen.
Let's see. That's a match.
Yeah, so that's
So he got it right the
it's
second
supposed
time,
to
they
be.
got it wrong the first time.
Yeah, but I like the first time.
Which means we have to paint this.
Well, we were gonna have to paint those anyway. Like seriously, would you not paint those?
If I could get away with it, I wouldn't.
Babe, there's no way.
Oh.
You'd have to put a second coat on all of those.
What's that?
You'd have to.
So it looks like the first go round with the paint, we got a different color. Because they used a different base.
Wow, that was close though.
It's very close.
Well, maybe it just needs to be mixed more.
Didn't you use the blending mixer thing?
I did. I pulled it up and down through it.
It's a different base. I mean, it's not the same paint.
It's not, honestly. Like,
It's the number is different. One is base number 2, and the other one is ultra white.
It's like,
And ultra white doesn't. I don't know what to tell you.
even you standing there, I can tell it's not the same. Like, when you pull it away, it's not. That's not the same.
It's not the same.
I think that would have been too bright for me.
That is definitely bright. Ugh. Well,
We got a great color.
we got a good color.
That's custom.
Yeah, it's custom. It's custom. Now, can they match it?
Oh, look at that.
Because we're gonna need 10 or 15 more gallons.
So the sun is setting in the windows, and it's just gorgeous.
It is pretty. I'm tired.
And grumpy
I'm grumpy.
all day.
Well, we finished a wall. We got that wall done yesterday. So, some success. Was hoping to have both of them done yesterday. Didn't happen. I'll be back up here tomorrow. I've got some things I got to do, and I've got a big delivery tomorrow. Our door is coming.
We appreciate you watching. Come on back and see us again at Break Hard Orchard. We'll still be painting the house.
Here, let me carry half of it.
You can't, because I can't get over to the other side. So just let go. You're throwing me off balance. Thank you.
You just hack a muscle in it.
No, I can't. You're throwing me off balance. I like having the help, but it has to be help.
You.
Watch my finger. Could you let me have my finger back? Thanks so much.
There you go.
Alrighty.
There. Ready?
Nail it, please.
Okay. Hold on. She hooked sunscreen, right? Like. Wait, hold on. And there we go.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm getting your ears. Get your ears. Cool.
Should be blowing off my head by now.